What's up guys, Shane here from Team COG, and I'm coming at you right after the most recent locals I've been to. And sometime in the future you guys should actually be seeing some replay videos of this, but this is my Utopic Zexal Gagagas. So I took this to my locals. I kind of built it just as a joke. Moving into Master Rule 4.5 or 5, however you want to call it, moving into that, I realized that I could use XYZs again, and one of my favorite decks when I first got back into the game was Gagagas, and you kind of summoned a Utopia each turn, and you really didn't do very much with it. But over this time, Utopia's got a little bit more support for the basic deck, and I was thinking, you know what would be a lot of fun if I just took the new support that came out of the most recent set, Magical Heroes. And I saw that support and I was like, man, you know, that'd be a really fun deck to play again. I really love Utopia, and there's so much cool stuff you can do with it. So I took that idea and I went and I built this deck. So this deck is purely for Master Rule 4.5/5. You definitely can't play it in the current Master Rule, as it can't actually even play any links. So you really can't play it in the current Master Rule, but that doesn't matter. That one's going to be over soon. And kind of, unless you're doing to a big event in the near future, that doesn't really matter. You don't have to think about that. So I kind of took that mentality, and since our locals is doing the 4.5/5 Master Rule, I decided to take this last time, and I had a lot of fun. I was taking Math Mechs, but I wanted to try and test this out. This was the first time I was able to play with this deck, so I actually took first. There were a few misplays, of course. I didn't completely understand each card or its effects, so there are a few misplays based on how the XYZs interact. But for the most part, I think I did all right. It was my first time playtesting with it, so if you guys watch that video, make sure, or watch either of those videos. I guess I got recorded twice. I don't know how many of them are going to come out, but please be gentle, because a lot of these XYZs I'm playing for the first time, and I didn't quite read them right, or some stuff. So I do have a few misplays. That's my bad. There's a few things in there that we did catch after the fact, and I apologize for that in advance if you guys go and watch those videos. I should have the card come up here soon. So the first one should be either it's going to be this versus Mermails, or this versus Cyber Dragons. I don't know which one we're putting out. But tonight I played 3 rounds. I went undefeated and took first. I played Mermails, Cyber Dragons, and Mech Knight Invoked. So Mech Knight Invoked, I was actually able to summon Zexal out each turn. So that he really got upset about that, and it was a pretty easy win. He got me game 1. We went into 3. I got him the next 2 games though. Mostly because of the Utopia double, being able to bash over for 10,000. There were a few interactions that I think I kind of did wrong, but for the most part, this deck is really actually very good due to the fact that this guy right here, Zexal, is just an amazing card. If you guys remember back when Pendulum Magicians was playing it using Argent Chaos Force, it's just a really great deck. They're a really great monster, XYZ, and the fact that this deck can actually quite easily hard make it is very crazy. So before we move in, if you guys are interested in any of the combo videos for this, let me know in the future. If you guys are looking for the Math Mech deck, we have the Math Mech deck profile out already. If you guys are looking for the combo video for Math Mechs, just hold on. That should be out sometime next week or this week. Just depends. So keep your eyes open for that. But for now, we're going to be doing this deck profile, as I just took first at our current locals. Like I said, I played Mermail round 1, Math Mech Invoked round 2, and Cyber Dragon. All 3 went into game 3, and it was just a lot of fun. Being able to put Zexal on pretty much every game. I was almost never able to put it on for the Cyber Dragon, whether I was getting nervous and misplaying or just didn't see the right cards to. So if you guys want, I think we'll be uploading that, so you'll be able to see that. But without further ado, without any more gloating or bothering you guys, let's break right into this deck profile. So we're going to have the one that came out of dual power, and that is the Utopic Onomatopoeia. This is definitely your most important play starter. If they stop this guy, it can be detrimental. However, since his name is always Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogago, and Dododo, he is really useful just for that effect, but the fact that he special summons is amazing. So when he is normal summoned, you can... During your main phase, so he's actually not even on a normal summon. You can activate this card every turn if you have him out. But you can summon up to one of each Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogago, or Dododo monsters. So you can, as long as you have multiple names in your hand, you can summon all of them. That's why the newest support that we got is really good. And right after this guy, we'll go in and we'll talk about why. So the only thing about this card is it locks you into XYZ monsters for the rest of the turn. And because of this, you're not running any links or fusions or anything like that. It kind of breaks off your multi-purposing of the deck, but at the time when I built this, I really didn't see that as a problem, and I really don't see it as a problem now, just because of what the deck can actually do with these monsters. But moving on, he's just an amazing card and an amazing play starter. Plus, him being a baby Utopia is really cute. So, the fact that he has great artwork and he's very playable is just super awesome. Moving on, the main reason I used to play this is when these guys first came out, I was a huge Dark Magician, and these are basically Dark Magician knockoffs. So, the first reason, but Gagaga Magician. He's basically just a Gagaga name in this. He's definitely the best Gagaga to play, in my opinion, due to the level manipulation, because you're also playing Child. So if you see Child and Gagaga Magician, and that's like your only play, Gagaga Magician plus Child can easily make Utopia or a rank 4, something to get your plays started. And just seeing a few cards can really get your play started. At some point I was really bricked, but I saw Gagaga Magician, and I also saw the Gagaga Child, so I was able to make a rank 4, and since I started with the rank up spell card in my hand, I was able to discard it and go straight into Zexal from there, so that was really good. We got Ray scratching in the background. Then we have Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat. So this is the first thing you realize, is that each one of these guys has 2 different archetype names, which is really important. So when summoning Utopic Onomatopoeia, you can actually summon him as a Zubaba and Gagaga Magician as a Gagaga. So that allows you to summon multiples at the same time, but you can't, I don't think you're allowed, based on the rulings, to summon a Zubaba counting one as a Gagaga and counting the other as a Zubaba. So I just don't think that would make sense at all. Because, yeah. But you're not going to run into that problem very often. And if you do, or if a judge rules that you can't summon it because it is a Gagaga, you can always just summon the Gagaga off of him and then special summon this, because he says if you control a Gagaga, except for Zubaba Gagaga Coat, this card is in your hand, you can special summon it. So that's always really good. And if you get like Onomatopoeia or something after you've already summoned it, he's really good even then. Dododo Dwarf Gogaga Glove. Dododo Dwarf is definitely one of your best extenders. The interaction between the Gagaga Coat and the Gogaga Glove are really good. And if you play your cards right, you actually gain a lot of advantage off of just the Utopic, the glove, and the coat. So that's really great. And then finally, Gagaga Child. Gagaga Child's a little bit niche, but his effect that he can special summon when you control a Gagaga is really important. And paired with the new rare spell card that came from the set as well, he's actually not as bad as he used to be. One of the biggest problems was he used to turn off the battle phase, and that was really hard, especially when you were playing like a Gagaga or Utopia OTK. But now with the Omano pickup, you can actually use that spell to affect leveling instead of the Gagaga Child card. That won't always regard, so you're playing Beyond just in case you run into a situation. But you're also playing Gagaga Magician over anything else because Gagaga Magician plus Child can easily make a 4-2. So Child's really much better than it used to be in my opinion. If you want, you could probably side in, or you could probably put in the Clerk, and it'd be basically the same thing. And since it's a warrior, it would be more searchable in the deck slightly. But that's up to your guys' discretion. I'm playing Child just because that's what I had, to be honest, and I didn't really want to buy a Clerk. So, and it's basically all the same thing right now. Yeah, I don't really think there's a difference. Except for Gagaga Child can use his own effect to change, whereas Clerk has no effect to change. So, 3 XYZ change tactics. This is definitely your strongest draw power. You're running a large Utopia package, especially with the Utopia doubles. So you can actually end up drawing off this card 4 times easily just from one XYZ interchange. So as long as you open this up, you're actually going to make a lot of a lot of advantage off of this card. It does cost 500 life points every time you activate it, so make sure to keep track of that. I don't think you're allowed to activate it if you pay if you are too low of life points. I don't think you are allowed to kill yourself. Onomatope Pickup. So this card's really great. When you first activate it, you can search an Onomatope card. So you can search Onomatopoeia, you can search the field spell, or you can search the Utopic Onomatopoeia. So there's actually quite a few cards you can search with this card, so it's almost never dead. Also, the second effect is it treats itself kind of like a Gagaga overlay thing, and you can actually change the levels of everything on the field to whatever monster you selected's level. If you were feeling like being ambitious, you could actually play this and Gagaga Magician if you saw and you wanted to play like Titanic Galaxy. You could actually summon it off not too terribly hard. You'd have to see Gagaga Magician and this card, but it's really, as long as you were able to get that card out and another one along with this one, you'd be able to make whatever rank 1 through 8 you wanted. So that's a really good thing you can keep in mind for your extra deck when you're building this yourself, if you were planning to. But that's something you could keep in mind, that you basically have access to every level. It's not going to be as easy as your rank 4 engine, so definitely keep that in mind, but it is possible. But Pickup is definitely one of the major consistency boosters from the last set, but reprinted with it is Onomatopoeia. This is definitely your best searcher card, and it's probably the best searcher card I've ever seen in the game, but it's such a specific archetype that I think it gets overlooked a lot. You discard 1 card, and then you add up to 2 with different archetypes. So you can add a Zubaba, Borrow, and a Gagaga Magician. Since the Utopic Onomatopoeia is actually every archetype, you can add him along with any other of the ones you need. If you didn't already search him off of Onomatopic. But because of that, you have amazing access to any monster in your deck. Thus, the continuation of your resources are all easy to get to, and making a rank 4s and doing the full combo with the 3 different monsters is easier than I could ever even have imagined. Truth be told, I actually made this deck kind of as a joke, just because I wanted to kind of relive the good old days. But it's actually really good, and I was very impressed with this locals. 2 double or nothing. I was playing this at 3 during testing, mostly because I'm playing 2 desires. But testing it at 2 this weekend, testing it at 2 this locals weekend, it wasn't that bad at 2. I ran into a few times where I definitely needed more than 2, but for the most part, I didn't really come up wanting very often. And because of that, I think it's just fine at 2. If you feel more secure running at 3, I say go for it. But you might break your consistency just a little bit. Remember, you can always discard this off of Onomatopoeia, so it's almost never dead in your hand. A lot of the times you're going to be discarding for Onomatopoeia, and I consider double or nothing that you hard drew free real estate. Now we got 2 Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is an amazing, amazing card. I saw when I was playtesting this deck, I put out a community post, and I was asking who would be interested in seeing this deck. I was kind of giving you guys a little tease. Somebody commented on there and told me to run the field spell. From when I originally played it, I didn't think it was very good, but back when I originally played it, there was barely any way to use Utopia as a engine to get things started. So because of this card, you can actually go through your Utopia engine, double Utopia, and then you've gotten 2 counters already. So just because of that, it's already an amazing field spell, and it really boosts consistency because you're able to special summon those monsters from the deck. And that's really, really valuable in every situation. Just because they are really, the more monsters you can work with, the easier it's going to make your building of your board. Speaking of easy building board, there's terraforming, so you can get to that, but you can also search it off of Onomatopic, so just remember that. But speaking of easy building, we've got 2 rank up magic Astral Force and 1 rank up magic Numeron Force. The rank ups you play aren't very important. The fact that you can't play Argent Force anymore is the reason you're playing these, and you're playing quite a few of these. You can still use the Astral Force to summon the Beyond off of Utopia, and that's not bad. I'm still playing Numeron Force because you can turn off all your opponent's face-up cards and summon the lightning off of that. It's kind of a weird way to summon it, but being able to turn off all your opponent's monsters' effects, I'd say that's pretty good. But for the most part, you're just going to be discarding this and using it to summon Zexal. I'm going to move these out of the way so I can keep talking. The rest of the stuff's just generic. So 2 Pot of Desires. Oh, except for one of the cards, I guess. 2 Pot of Desires really boosts consistency. I was really trying to cut these, but there's no card right now that's really better. I would add another part of a pot, or I would add 1 more pot, and that'd be Pot of Avarice. Avarice was definitely came up wanting quite a few times in this deck, and I think there's only benefits you could have from it, mostly because of the double or nothing, and you're playing 2 Utopia doubles. So being able to shuffle back that Utopia double, or that double or nothing, and draw, perfect thing. Couldn't want it more. I'm yet to playtest with it, obviously. I have to pick up one, but for now, 2 Pot of Desires was alright. If you're feeling gutsy, bump it up to 3. Called by the Grave. I'm playing 2. Definitely going to try and bump it up to 3. Came in handy when I saw it. Didn't really ever come up dead when I didn't. So, really good card. You need your monsters to resolve. And with this card, all you're afraid of is infinite impermanence. So that's always good. Monster Reborn at 1, and 1 Gagaga Revenge. These are both kind of... These are both play extenders. Gagaga Revenge, I was thinking about bumping up, but also there's another thing where it's like... Most of the monsters you have are Gagagas, except for the glove. So it actually came in handy at one point during a game where I summoned double, and he had Karibo out, and I didn't want to crash into his monster. So I didn't want to crash into his monster with a Utopia trying to Utopia double. So I actually, because I used Gagaga Revenge, it gave the Utopia double 800 attack points. And since Link Karibo's 800, I was able to attack into the Link Karibo. He used the Link Karibo's effect, and then you can chain Utopia double's effect to special summon Utopia and search the double or nothing. So that really satisfied that situation. So Gagaga Revenge, really good. If you're wanting, you could bump that up to 2, or cut the Reborn and bump up the Gagaga Revenge to 2. You're not really going to be able to search it with anything. I'm not playing Sisters in this version because it's a normal summon. You really don't gain anything from it, and it's really just not that important. You're only really playing Gagaga Revenge as your Gagaga cards, so it's not something that's definitely terribly needed. Foolish Burial at 1, If it was at more, I don't know if I'd played it more because you're just foolish burial. The only thing you're foolish burialing is the Do-Do-Do glove, and even then, having to foolish burial it instead of summoning it off the Utopia is not that great because you do lose its first special summon back, so you lose a little bit of resource there. And then Upstart Goblin, free +1, and Reinforcements of the Army, another +1. They're all kind of filler cards, but they do get you places. Drawing into Upstart's great because it's an immediate another dig card, and then Reinforcements of the Army can get you to either the Utopic Onomatopoeia or the Zubaba. So both of those are great cards. Both of them, this one's very important, but if you draw into Reinforcements of the Army later on and you still have a Gagaga on field, you can special summon this. So that's another amazing quality. But that's it for the main deck. 40 card deck. If you guys were trying to fit something else in there, you got a little bit of extra wiggle room, 2 or 3 cards. So do it however you'd like. So we'll start off with the obvious stuff. We've got 2 Utopia double. Utopia double, you're probably not going to end up using both just because you're only running 2 double or nothing, and the chances are you're going to end up drawing into both of them or searching one and drawing into the other one off of XYZ change tactics, because you will be drawing a lot for XYZ change tactics. You're trying to draw into the rank up magics, but you could end up drawing into something you didn't want. So that's always it's always a chance. So sometimes this is going to end up dead. That's another reason to run the Pot of Avarice, in my opinion. Then we've got 2 Utopia, just straight normal 39 Utopia. It's a great card with the Utopia double package because it's an immediate 5k to 10k with the Utopia double. So that's always great. Moving on, you've got just a whole bunch of Utopia cards, so we'll finish those out first. You've got S Utopia Prime, which I never use the effect, and if you do, that's ballsy of you, but 10 life points left. You have fun, friend. And then the real reason you're playing it is the Utopia Lightning. I ended up on Utopia Lightning a lot against Cyber Dragons, which wasn't very good because they were just able to target and take it with Infinity. But it's very good security against a lot of decks because nobody wants to crash into a 5k monster that they can't activate their effects when they're attacking. So it's a really good card, and it's fucking beautiful. And then the last of the Utopias, we've got Utopia Beyond for the level 6 that reduces your opponent's monsters to 0. And you can also do the good old special summon back by detaching a material. And then Kaiser. Utopia Kaiser is summoned off of your Utopia double. It's really the only way you're going to summon it in this deck. Because you can summon it using the other stuff, but there's really not too much of a point. I could have summoned it at the end of the one game, I guess, but at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Like, it's a great card. It spams your field pretty easily and it negates. So a good card to summon off of him, of course, is Crazy Box. Crazy Box is a 3k beater that can do a random effect, but it can't attack. But if you summon it off of Kaiser, its effects are negated. The fact is, though, you cannot summon the same rank, so you're going to be summoning double off the second effect. Then we've, of course, got Utopic Zexal. Zexal is definitely the MVP. Hard making him is so much fun because if you use the right combos, you can detach off of Crazy Box, pray that it doesn't blow itself up, and then you can end with a Zexal. As long as the luck is on your side, you're going to end up hard making Zexal, and Crazy Box is probably going to be your last resort because you're going to want to go into these guys first. Baguska's always going to be a good stall card, but Right now, he's not as good because of Lynx. A lot of people are playing Lynx, so he's not nearly as good. But Dargris the Timeless is an amazing card. Unfortunately, I don't have the room to play him at multiples, and he cannot be used more than once per turn. So, right now he's being played at 1. You use him. You'll end up, if you don't draw into rank up spell, you'll end up probably using him to hard make Zexal, because Zexal requires 3 number monsters with the same rank. So a lot of the time, you're going to be using either one of these guys, Utopia, and you'll be using one of these guys, this guy, and a Utopia monster usually. One caveat, you cannot use lightning, so make sure to be careful with that. If you wanted, you could run, if you wanted for more draw power using change tactics, you could run the C number 39 Utopia Ray. Yeah, C number 39 Utopia Ray. I think I have one around here somewhere. I was playing it for a little bit. But anyway, you could play that, and you can throw it down on top of... Bless me. You can throw it down on top and then draw another one. But a lot of the times you're going lightning just out of pure desperation. For the last 2 numbers, you've got the 1s over 100s. You've got Giant Hand and Silent Honor Arc. I misplayed in the Cyber Dragon one. I detached 1, and then I thought I still had a negation for Giant Hand. But I definitely didn't. I had Silent Honor Arc. Silent Honor Arc's just great spot removal. It doesn't destroy, it doesn't banish, so a lot of stuff doesn't trigger. It does target, but yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. And then we got Cowboy for time. Cowboy can see himself. We'll probably see himself turned into a. Time thief, maybe. But like I said, this deck was originally supposed to be a joke, so he found his way into this extra deck. So, but the deck is really good. I don't really want to talk about my side deck, mostly because I didn't build one. But I took first with this. Probably misplayed a little bit based on the fact that I didn't really deal with the deck. I didn't really playtest with the deck a lot before going. I was building boards, but I never really had to deal with the consequences. So like Durgus, I might have forgotten. I didn't detach enough for number 106, stuff like that. But that's really all I got for this deck profile. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Go check us out on Twitter and Facebook and all that jazz. This has been Shane from Team COG. Hope you enjoyed going back to ye old days of Zexal, and I will see you guys in the future. Make sure to check out the Mathmech deck profile, or the Mathmech combo video, and let me know if you guys want a combo video with this. They're pretty simple combos, but let me know. See you guys later.